So a couple weeks ago, I wrote an article about tariffs and Utah housing and how it might affect the Utah market. Feel free to jump back and read that if you'd like. But today, I wanted to give an update since it's been a couple weeks on what we now know. Some things have changed since then. And specifically, we've been able to hear from some of the nation's largest home builders, including D.R. Horton, Lennar, Polk Group, KB Homes, and MI Homes, about what the impact of tariffs have been on them so far. And so I've written a really detailed article on this. Feel free to read it in depth if you'd like to. I'm just going to highlight a couple of quotes for people that may not want to read the whole thing. D.R. Horton, their CEO, says they haven't really seen anything substantial coming across the way in price increases yet. They did note that 20% of their lumber comes from Canada, but they don't expect to anticipate any major lumber price impacts until late 2025, possibly into 2026. Obviously, this whole landscape is changing every day, and so we'll kind of see how that shakes out. Lennar, Polk Group, KB Homes, MI Homes, they all said a similar thing. They haven't really seen a huge increase in prices on components yet, but there have been a couple, right? And so I've noted those below: plumbing fixtures, HVAC parts from China, porcelain and tile flooring, and electrical components. Those are the types of materials that have been impacted the most. Now, in terms of how this will affect home prices, originally people were giving estimates of like, $6,000-$7,000 or 6%, 40% increases. We're really starting to see that it's most likely going to be a lot less substantial than some of those early projections were, maybe a 1% cost increase. So on a $500,000 home, you're looking at $5,000 added to the cost of that home, right? And a couple weeks ago when we talked about this, we also did touch on the current housing market and how a lot of builders might have a hard time passing that cost onto the consumer. But obviously, none of us can predict the future, and so I like to just kind of present this info to you so that you have it. Now, really, I guess I'd like to pivot to like, what should you do in this current market? Obviously, everybody's situation is a little bit different, right? But if you're worried about the costs of homes going up due to tariffs, you may consider trying to push your home purchase closer to the beginning of 2025 rather than the end of 2025 if you were already planning on moving this year. That might insulate you from some of the costs that could end up going up, right? Now, with that being said, there's incredible incentives that builders are offering right now. I've talked about this a lot in previous weeks, but there are builders offering 3% towards their closing costs. So that's, again, on a $500,000 home, that's $15,000 that they're offering to pay you to buy their home, right? Now, they're also willing to buy down, some of them are willing to buy down your interest rate all the way to 4.99%. So where interest rates right now are hovering around 7%, you could get a 5% home. If you use that extra 3% closing costs, you could potentially buy down your interest rate for your first year all the way down to 2.99%. So it's an incredible time, honestly, to buy new construction. We're seeing some amazing deals out there, and sellers are still benefiting from really high prices as well. And so we're kind of in this neutral market where I think a lot of win-win deals can be made, which is a breath of refresh, or what's the word? Breath of fresh air, right? From the market that we experienced the past couple years, where it was just blood in the waters, super competitive, right? So I hope that's some good news for you. And I wanted to also mention, if you're interested in investing in real estate, or even if you're a first-time home buyer, but you want to long-term invest in real estate, I've got 2 deals coming up that I think could be a really cool opportunity for you. Number one is this 4-plex here in Provo. Okay, now I can't share a ton of details about it yet, but here's just a sneak peek of some of the photos. All 4 units in great condition. Now, the cool thing about this is you can get an FHA loan, live in one of these units, and rent out all 3 other units. On an FHA loan, you're only putting 3.5% down, right? And so this is a great way to get started in real estate and really be able to, what we call house hack, kind of use the rent from the other units to pay for your mortgage and make this a really long-term asset for you. We also have a duplex coming. just down the road as well. So if you're interested in any of these properties, let me know. If you're interested in what you should do over the next couple years, I'm happy to schedule a time to do an in-depth look on what your personal goals are, what your personal finances are, and really lay out a personal roadmap for your real estate goals. Everyone's situation is unique, and that's why I'm here to help. So love to help out in any way you can. Let me know if I can do anything for you. And of course, feel free to send this to anybody you know that might be looking to make a move in 2025. Thanks. Bye.